Okay, you ready?
Toot.
Starting as a two-part pilot episode in 2013 hosted by Frederator Studios, Bee and Puppycat managed to take off with a Kickstarter for a full series, being one of the few cartoons to do so. And we're gonna talk about it today. With I got a guest star here, Puppycat. What do you think about that, Puppycat? What a rascal this one!
Puppycat!
The Kickstarter actually, it started, I believe, in 2013, shortly after the pilot was released.
Whoa, 2013!
And it managed to build up well over $800,000, which is actually very close to $1 million, making it one of the most successful cartoon-related Kickstarters.
Hey! Cash! Whoa, thank you!
Eat on that one, John K. You know, all jokes aside, you know, I'm gonna be real with you folks for a moment here. I feel genuinely awful for anyone who supported John K's 2012 Kickstarter, Cans Without Labels. Yeah, I know some people were mad about the Bee and Puppycat Kickstarter, because everyone was like,
Listen to me here, people! The Bee and Puppycat Kickstarter, they're... Oh my god, I'm so angry, I'm pissed! I'm pissed, people! They're taking 3 years to make a simple cartoon! Do you know how simple animation is? No! You don't know how simple it is! Oh, it's just the government elites, they press the make a cartoon button. It's that simple, people! It's that fucking simple! I'm sorry. This is a family program. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm serious about this one. I'm pissed!
But in the end, Bee and Puppycat, they managed to actually do an entire mini-series worth of content, probably about as much as Over the Garden Wall, with television quality within the course of 3 years, which it is kind of a long time, but, you know, the process of animation takes a good while, so I wasn't quite as angry, but then again, I didn't hop on their Kickstarter. But either way, John K's Kickstarter, on the other hand, not only started a year earlier, but his Kickstarter, to my knowledge, isn't finished. People paid for one 7-minute cartoon, haven't got it in what? 6 years?
Congratulations, sir! You have just given me my $1 million!
Huh, great. What do I win?
Nothing! Now get out!
What?
Get out!
Bee and Puppycat, they paid for, I believe, 10 cartoons, give or take, and they got them within 3 years, so do the math. Now that you got a little history out of the way, let's get into the actual show. What's it about? First character we got Bee. She's a girl who appears to be in her early 20s and just goes about life trying to get a job. She doesn't really like working, so, you know, basically every 20-year-old you've ever met.
No. Well, I didn't know that he had a peanut allergy. Okay, well, you know, if it's just a little bit of swelling, then just get him away from the peanuts and it'll be over in about a half hour. Otherwise, call an ambulance. Thank you. Yeah, bye.
You took too long. Now your candy's gone.
Her whole thing is she goes to temp agencies, tries to get a job in the real world, and she can't do it. So the basic premise, she meets Puppycat. Puppycat falls from the sky, lands on her head, and from that point he's able to provide Bee with temp jobs from another world. We're not quite sure where that comes from. And of course that leads us into Puppycat, the next main character. I think it's implied he's a prince or something. Not quite sure what his deal is. All we know for certain is that he's a puppy and a cat. That's what we know for certain, aside from whatever implications he has in his little song.
And then what? That's your ending? That's awful.
Next up, we've got Tempbot, who looks like BMO's mother. Tempbot gives Bee and Puppycat their temp job assignments.
Have fun, little flapjacks! Bobby! Flapjacks!
And the interesting thing about these assignments is that they take place in other worlds. So it generally leads to some kind of bizarre adventure in another world while still retaining some form of job they have to do. Usually it culminates in them taking on some kind of monster or adversary of some sort. You know, I'm kind of jealous of being Puppycat. You know, they get to do cool jobs. I gotta deal with shitty customers all day. Though in fairness, some of the customers being Puppycat have to deal with are probably just as strange.
You turn people into pet food?
I was once threatened to have the shit kicked out of me because I didn't have change for 100. True story.
Shut up. I'm taking this.
Next major character we have is Deck Hard, who makes Bee's dick hard. Boo! I hope Deck Hard's dick wasn't hard when this happened.
Are you gonna be okay?
Oh my god! I got you some ice for your crotch!
He actually wants to move on with his life and become a chef of some sort, culinary school.
I turned in my Cooking Prince Academy application.
It actually creates some interesting conflict because Bee's just doing temp work. It's like one person wants to move on in life, the other doesn't.
Why are you trying to throw this out?
Cass filled it out for me. I don't even want to go. I like my job. I like living here. Do you want me to leave?
He's got a sister too, Cass, but she doesn't do much besides beat the crap out of him and code. Finally, their landlord, Cardamon. Now, this is an interesting one. Bee's landlord is like a little kid.
Oh, that must be our new landlord, Mr. Stingely.
Where is the rent? I must have the rent. Dollars, dimes, and nickels, I need them all right now.
Which seems kind of funny at first, but it appears maybe that role was passed down to him after his mother went into a coma. We're not really quite sure how that works. All I know is it seems to be really silly at first that their landlord's a little kid, but then it kind of turns into this strange tearjerker, so I can't wait to see where they go with that. And finally, we have Toast, who doesn't show up until the last episode, well, one of the last episodes, and we know next to nothing about her, other than the fact that she boxes, and she apparently has an ex-wife. So all I'm saying is I hope her ex-wife's name was Butter. So we want butter on that toast.
Get him out of here!
I'll see myself out. The episodes are actually structured in an interesting manner. Every 5 minutes or so is classified as an episode, but the two segments usually go together to make an 11-minute episode, or 10 to 11 minutes. So altogether, you get 12 5-minute episodes, but they all kind of go together to make roughly 6 regular television length cartoons. Again, that's not too bad as far as Kickstarters go. I will say the length is kind of a detriment because it feels like they want to build up some mystery, but we don't really, I mean, we have a little bit of mystery, but that's about it. The episodes themselves are almost structured like regular show. That's how I look at them.
Do you have a better idea?
Yes, I do.
If you're watching the first 5 minutes, it's usually some mundane problem, like, oh, they gotta pay rent, or Bee's afraid of the water, and then they take that with the second half of each episode, and that's when they go to their otherworldly temp job assignment, and it's usually something related to the mundane plot earlier, where it's like, oh, Bee doesn't like water, so of course they're gonna go to a planet where she has to face water.
No! Water! Just let me, you jerks!
We don't do that anymore.
No! Water!
The design philosophy is really cute. I mean, look at this guy! Look at him! He's cute! The cute design philosophy obviously comes from Natasha Allegri. Her design philosophy is very cute, very pretty. You can obviously see where she came from. She did a lot of Adventure Time work, especially during season 3. She's the one who gave us Fiona and Kate.
I thought we might have a little race. A playful race to marshmallowy meadows.
Okay, but I'm gonna kick your butt. Not that I'm thinking of butts.
And some people, I think, might be a little tired of the pastel colors and soft art styles. I mean, we've had a little bit of that with Steven Universe. There's a lot of comparisons you can draw, but at the time, I still think it was fresh. Steven Universe was off the bat, so I'm not sure if they even had Steven Universe in mind when they were making the show. So I am definitely a fan of the designs. I think they're awesome.
take it. It's too cute. It's disgusting.
The voice acting is also really good. There's a lot of talent on here, a few familiar names.
Those years of docile nature, all those wasted years, and now my true bloodlust has awakened.
Ashley Birch might be a popular one. She does a lot of Cartoon Network voices. You might know her as Breezy or Enid from OKKO.
You'll never melt my icy heart.
They've also made a few interesting voice acting choices. Puppycat is voiced by a Vocaloid. That's not really my thing. I don't really care about that, but I know some people think it's really cool. Now, this leads me to the final 4 episodes, because they had all the episodes. The last 4 episodes they went together to make like a half-hour episode. So we're entering spoiler territory here, people. We're cutting it loose. I'm opening the floodgates here, people. So this is your warning. If you don't want to be spoiled on these final batch of episodes, you better get the heck out of here, because we're diving in. Everyone out of the room? All right, because this is gonna be the spoiler. They got Tommy freaking Wiseau here, people. Yeah, they got this little guy when they go on their temp assignment. This little floating man, and at first I thought it was just maybe like a vocal reference to Tommy Wiseau, but no, they straight up got Tommy Wiseau.
I did not hit her. I did not.
Oh, hi, Mark.
He goes, he's like, oh, I gotta use the bathroom.
I gotta go real bad. I've been holding it so for a while now, okay? Months maybe. What day is it? I have to go now.
I don't know how they got him. I'm almost convinced he walked on set and was like, oh, I'm Tommy Wiseau, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll get to your voice acting later. And they just recorded him doing that. It was probably just Tommy being Tommy, and they recorded it. That's what I'd like to think. But yeah, I mean, they got Tommy Wiseau, so I mean, obviously, the finale, it's not gonna get any better than that. Oh, actually, there is just a little teeny tiny reveal that B is a robot, but I mean, that just pales in comparison to Tommy Wiseau. I mean, you can't even compete with that, people.
You guys, how could you let him do this to me? God.
Real talk, this ending here, this is what sells the show for me. This is why I recommend it to you, because before the final episode, it just kind of seems like cute stuff happening, maybe a little bit of mystery, but when they reveal that B's a robot, that just, I mean, it kind of turns the whole show on its head. Where are they going with this? I would personally like to know where they're going with this. Wouldn't you like to know, Puppycat? Well, of course, Puppycat doesn't need to know. He already knows. Now, myself and a lot of other people, we were definitely terrified that we would not see a conclusion to this series, but thankfully we were proven wrong here recently. If you subscribe to their newsletter, you would get an email, and we all recently got an email. They had a trailer. We're going to see a sequel series called Bee and Puppycat, Lazy in Space, coming in 2019, so I'm really excited for that one. I want to see where they go with all these mysteries that they're building up, because there is a lot of build-up in this series. It's very much build-up right now. That's all it is. You're not getting any answers. This first season was solely to hype you up, and I think it worked. This show manages to blend the mundane with the insane while still managing to be cute and build a little bit of a mystery, so I recommend you give it a watch. I think it's been long enough since the whole Kickstarter debacle. I think now people, you know, if you want to watch it, you're gonna have to go do it. Now, the thing with the show that might deter some people is it used to be free. They used to put it out on YouTube, but that's not a viable method. I think they learned very quickly animation is expensive. You can't sustain yourself with YouTube ads. I mean, hell, most YouTube creators who aren't animators can't sustain themselves with YouTube ads. So, cartoon, that's just like throwing a rabbit to the wolves. They quickly learned they needed to do a streaming service, which turned a lot of people off. So I think a lot of people missed some of these episodes of Bee and Puppycat. So I would recommend, if you want to watch these, I recommend just pay $10 for Verve. At least that's what I did. I did it one time just because I wanted to support them. I'm not really into Verve. I'm not as into anime and all of that. They really only have a couple of cartoons. I think they got Harmon Quest on there, so if you're a Dan Harmon fan, you might have a little fun with Verve.
Of course you can trust me. I'm your therapist.
I rape babies.
But, yeah, there's not much for me, so I felt the need to support them because, you know,
I totally did not pirate the episodes when I was done anyway.
But anyway, yeah, it was $10. I'm not sure if it's $10 right now. Let's go check. Yep, still $10. So anyway, yeah, I think that's a fair price to pay if you want to watch the whole series. You know, you could get Over the Garden Wall on DVD for $10, so this is a fair equivalent. That said, you know, bringing up the concept of a DVD, you know, I heard rumors about a DVD, so I went to Reddit, milady, and I checked out the scene, and it turns out they did release a DVD, but only for the backers. So, you know, I'm heartbroken. You know, I'd much rather pay $10 to own the episodes on physical media. So, if you're seeing this, Frederator, please forgive me for my sins of pirating. And you know, if you guys want to consider maybe releasing a DVD or Blu-ray, because I would happily buy that. I don't get very good internet up here for streaming, so I would personally love to own the episodes on physical media for my collection. As you can see, I have an extensive physical media collection, oftentimes buying both the DVD and the Blu-ray, regardless of whether or not I need them or not. So, yeah, if you think I'm bluffing when I say I would buy a Bee and Puppycat DVD, you're dead wrong, and I'm not gonna go along with it. Yeah! So anyway, those are my thoughts on Bee and Puppycat. What do you guys think of Bee and Puppycat? Are you a fan of the series? Were you a Kickstarter backer? What was it like being a Kickstarter backer, if you're one of them? Let me know your experience, or just let me know if you paid for Verve, or if you got one of the DVDs. Let me know what you think of Bee and Puppycat down in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
He said it's nice to spend the night with you. Nobody.
Hold on. Don't laugh. Don't laugh.